Brand activism is back again. Are marketers prepared? Are marketers prepared for the brand activism that is on its way back? Back in 2019, when Sprout published our Brands Get Real report, 70% of consumers declared it was important for brands to stand on social and political issues. By 2023, thanks in part to woke washing and increasingly divisive algorithms, consumers were over it. The 2023 Sprout Social Index found that only 25% said that the most memorable brands speak about causes and news that align with their values. Why audiences are coming back around to brand activism. The data suggests that simultaneous rollback of DEI initiatives and other new policies paired with a highly contentious global political climate and unstable economy are driving forces, especially for specific audiences. Now, here again, this is sort of to my point. They're talking about the one reference to buying power is not for Black people. It's referenced to Gen Z. For example, when U.S. companies roll back DEI initiatives, over half of Gen Z and 36% of consumers overall say they will boycott. Globally, people are using and in many cases suppressing their buying power to show where their loyalty lies and forcing brands to pick a side on socially and politically fraught issues. All right. So, but again, yes, there's some claim that they can impact companies and their engagement with DEI and the LGBTQ community and pride promotion, et cetera. But no one in here is arguing that any of these communities will free themselves from historical oppression by marshaling their buying power. And again, the point here is to help companies market themselves to these communities, not to help these communities improve their conditions. So brand activism is best understood as turn your brand into something these fake ass activists will be tricked by. It's not an assessment of any kind of strength. Public relations. Are Black people simply terrible spenders?
Tell us that Black people don't know how to spend money, that we're frivolous, we don't invest, we don't work.
And there goes Drake again. Everything is reducible to Drake. Black America now has $2 trillion in spending power, enough to rank as the 8th largest economy in the world, ahead of Canada, Italy, and South Korea. Black people, why aren't you as powerful in the world as Canada, Italy, and South Korea? Hey, Black America, in terms of world football, you're more powerful than Italy, or at least equally powerful, because Italy also does not have a team headed to the World Cup. Again.
People be like, why do you go out of your way to be petty? And I'd be like, who said it was out of my way? It's directly on my route every single time. Pettyluya.
But there it is. Black people, just as free and powerful as Italy.
Work together. They'll remind us that we have $2 trillion in spending power, yet only 2% of the money circulates within our community. And then they'll compare us to other.
Wait, where's the footnote on that? Where's the footnote? See, thanks, Oznizap, for tagging me on this. I think you weren't the only one either. So in here, and look at the contradiction. So the wealth of Black America is headed to zero. Everybody gets that, but then says we can somehow fix this by building power and buying Black and pouring into each other.
Phrasing.
But there's no site. Look at this. They even put a graphic to something that is literally a fictitious, made up claim. There is no circulating dollar measurement.
There is no circulating dollar measurement.
Adding graphics to a lie or a myth doesn't make it real.
How the dollar circulates.
But it is effective propaganda.
In their community for weeks before it leaves. And Black dollar, only 6 hours. But they never tell us why. We know that for 400 years.
They never tell us why, because it's never real. And not only do they never tell us why, they also never tell us where they get that claim
we
from.
work for free while others got paid. If you calculate that unpaid labor, historians estimate it would total over $97 trillion today. That's $97 trillion in stolen wages, compounded growth, and generational wealth that never entered black hands. We built this nation's economy, the railroads, the cotton, the agriculture, the wealth, yet never reaped the rewards. So when they say we spend frivolously, remind them that we're spending in an economy we built that we were systematically excluded from owning. And let's be clear.
I don't mind that. I get the frame of that part of the argument. I don't mind it so much, but the real point would be that the so-called frivolous spending has nothing to do with why anybody's poor.
Clear, our spending power is massive. If Black America were a country, our $2 trillion economy would rank 8th in the world.
The claim of a $2 trillion buying power is not the same as a $2 trillion economy. It's not gross domestic product. It is not wealth or income and does not measure inequality within a given society.
That's ahead of countries like Canada, Italy, and South Korea. That means we do have money, but it's time to redirect that power towards ourselves. Now, before integration, the black dollar circulated for up to a year within our community.
No, it didn't.
We had our own hospitals, banks, grocery stores, theaters, and schools.
Two black supply chain point is really important on this. There is no a year. So, because again, so black people were supplying the seed, the gas, the oil, the electricity, the shipping, the component parts of whatever, the component crop producing piece, like it's none of that is fully impossible.
We spent with one another, and that's how we built all of these black Wall Street.
The cement, the concrete mixing, whatever, all of that stuff came independent of anyone else.
Streets across America. After they bombed and burned down and we rebuilt, something happened.
That part is true. The rebuilt part is true. And the something that happened was public policy, federal public policy.
Integration. Because when
not said, okay, fine. If you want to say integration is federal public policy and that destroyed this utopian black independent economy, which is also incorrect, then acknowledge that the policy is what drove the integration and not the integration in and of itself. If I'm making myself clear.
We no longer had to do business with one another. We stopped doing business with each other. We thought the white man's ice was colder. We took our money, our power, and we gave it to everybody else. Now, when you go into black neighborhoods, what do you see? White-owned liquor stores, Asian-owned beauty supplies, Arab-owned gas stations, Hispanic-owned restaurants. Everybody profits from our community except us. And the truth is, less than 3% of the businesses in predominantly black communities are black-owned. It's not that we don't want to buy black. It's that we don't have enough black-owned business.
And also, what are the businesses in these black communities? They're small beauty stores, hair care, corner stores, eateries. These are not the businesses that are generating the kind of wealth that entire communities need. And the more I'm moving in this long project with Sudeep on the comparison of black and Asian economics and narratives around those communities, the more it's even more clear how nonsensical these comparisons are. If every business in the black community were owned by somebody black, the black community would not be, I think, markedly improved. A black-owned pharmacy, a black-owned, again, you know, the Asian outlets, the hair care, what else is in the black community business-wise that is owned by other communities? That were owned by black people would markedly change the conditions of the overall community.
Businesses to buy from. Now, economists say that black median wealth is going to fall to zero by the year 2053. That's what they predict. But I don't believe that.
Well, you can say you don't believe it, but why do they say that? And why do you say you don't believe that? Why do you say they're wrong?
Because we have what our ancestors didn't. We got the internet, AI, and
If the internet and AI,
we got each other. We are the great equalizer.
Most of this gap, the increase in the gap in wealth between the ruling elite and the rest of us, black, white, or other, has only increased over the time of the rise of the internet. So the internet does not improve anyone's material conditions collectively. It's the internet has only aided the exploitation of labor and land and resources. AI, Dwayne Monroe and others have been laying this out very clearly. It is a bubble that's about to burst, and it doesn't do what people say. It's going to replace jobs. It's going to replace the labor that black people are already being exploited in a setting, in a labor setting where black people are already overly exploited. So when they are replaced by AI, how is that going to be the great equalizer?
And as long as we're intentional about doing business with one another, supporting each other, and building together, we will not get to zero. Here's the thing. We have to make doing business with each other.
And again, even if the black community, by the way, the Alora Derena court paper that details why all of this is the wealth is not possible. We're just ignoring all of the actual research and data around all of the headlines. But even if black wealth doesn't go to zero, what does black wealth being at some positive percentage point mean for the entire black community? Because it doesn't answer the question of redistribution.
Each other a priority again. Because when we build, we create jobs. When we support, we sustain families.
And black people are not poor because there was some collective decision or even imposed condition where there was a lack of unity. This is not what a lack of unity. First of all, I don't believe is more severe in black communities than any other community. That's not why black people are where they are. Because black people are just not unified. It's ridiculous.
And when we circulate our money intentionally, we build wealth that lasts generations. So start your business, support your neighbor's brand, shop consciously. If the black dollar can circulate 6 hours, it can circulate 6 days and then 6 months. We did it before and we can do it again. Now drop a black fist.
It didn't happen before. It didn't, and it won't happen again. And if it did happen again, as it did happen before, it would be in the same unimproved setting. With unimproved. Oh, what happened to my stream?
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.